Seagull Showdown, the rematch. Davy slams a handful of coins onto the counter with the gravitas of a Wild West duelist. 1 bag of chips, he announces, eyes locked on the flock of gulls circling overhead like feathery vultures. Extra salty. For dramatic effect, the vendor slides them over with a slow nod. Good luck. You clutch the bag tighter as Davy nudges you toward the railing, where at least 7 gulls have now perched, beady eyes fixed on your snack with terrifying focus. One hops closer, cocking its head like it recognizes you from last time. Davy, ever helpful, whispers, "Psst, try making yourself look bigger." You flail your arms wildly. The lead gull squawks, unimpressed, then suddenly dives. Chaos erupts in a whirlwind of wings and screaming from both you and Davy. Chips go flying, some into the sea, some onto your jacket. One even lands squarely on Tambourine's nose, instant betrayal. And just as you are about to concede defeat, splat! A well-aimed glob of seagull mess hits Davy square on the shoulder mid-victory dance. Silence falls across the pier. Even rival gulls pause mid-squabble to witness this divine justice play out in real time. You slowly raise an eyebrow at him. His expression flickers through shock, horror, acceptance before settling on sheer glee. "Still worth it," he declares, right before another gull drops its payload directly onto his hat. The vendor guffaws. The seagulls cackle like they've just won the lottery. And Davy? He stands there, covered head to toe with a smug grin and what can only be described as foul debris, still clutching a half-empty bag of chips. You shake your head in disbelief. "I hate you," you say, but the grin tugging at your mouth betrays you. The walk of shame. You slump along the boardwalk beside Davy, chips clutched defiantly in your bag as the seagulls overhead continue squawking and laughing to themselves. "Laugh it up, you feathery bastards," Davy mutters. "This simply means war." You shove him lightly. "And how exactly do you plan to win a second war? Start throwing chips at seagulls instead of the other way around?" Davy glares up with all the righteous confidence of a man covered in gull droppings and grease. "I have a plan." You raise an eyebrow. "Oh, really?" He flashes that infuriatingly charming grin that I will tell you nothing about. You sigh. "Of course. And when will you execute said secret plan?" He grins wide. "Soon." You shake your head, fighting a smile. "You know, I'm genuinely beginning to worry about your general lack of foresight." Davy gasps in mock offense. "Rude! I'll have you know I'm extremely good at planning things." "Oh, really? Name one thing you've ever planned that wasn't ridiculous in hindsight," you challenge, folding your arms. Davy opens his mouth to reply and closes it again. You can practically see the mental gears grinding behind his eyes as he struggles to come up with an answer. Finally he grins. "Nope, got nothing." You snort. "Told you." Davy scoffs. "Rude, I'm not that bad with planning." You gesture at the gull mess still clinging to his clothes. "Oh, like your last brilliant plan?" He flicks a blob of seagull debris off his sleeve. "Shut up." You grin. "Admitting you have a problem is the first step, you know." "I don't have a problem." You roll your eyes in exaggerated disbelief, which of course only makes him more indignant. "I don't," he protests again with the air of a man who absolutely has a problem. You raise an eyebrow. You know denial isn't a healthy coping mechanism, right? He groans, trying to shake a stray feather out of his hair. "Why are you so insufferable?" You grin, raising an eyebrow. "Me? You're the one who tried to win a war against seagulls using a bag of chips as a weapon." "And technically I still have chips, so I'm winning," he retorts, taking a defiant bite. You shake your head, fighting back a smile at his ridiculous logic. "Sure, keep telling yourself that." He grins around a mouthful of chips and gull debris. It's a revolting combination. "I will, thanks." He swallows, flashing you another of those damn charming grins. "And for the record, I still think I'm winning." You roll your eyes again. "You're impossible," you retort. "But there's no heat in it, just exasperated fondness." He slings an arm round your shoulders, still grinning like a madman. You love it, though. You shove him lightly. "Shut up." He laughs, nudging you along the pier. It's a beautiful day. Sun is warm. Seagulls are screeching. Sea glitters like liquid glass beneath a cloudless sky. "You know," he muses, munching a chip idly as he leans against the railing, "I'd call this a pretty perfect day. except for the whole Seagull war. You roll your eyes, leaning against the railing beside him. You'd think you could not pick fights for at least 5 minutes. He flashes that cheeky grin again. Where's the fun in that, love? You shove him again, but secretly can't help the smile pulling at your lips. Even with seagull crap on his hat, he still looks annoyingly adorable. He slings an arm around your shoulders again, pulling you closer. You can actually smell the seagull mess on his clothes this close. It's an absolutely disgusting combination of fish, salt, and, well, seagull droppings. But seriously, he murmurs in your ear, eyes flickering from the gull-filled sky to your face. You do have fun when stuff like this happens, right? You laugh, despite yourself. What, when you get attacked by seagulls? Yeah, loads of fun. Davy grins, nudging your shoulder. Ah, come on. You like that I keep things exciting. You shake your head, grinning back reluctantly. I think you mean absolute chaos. Davy scoffs. Semantics, you snort, bumping him back. You're a menace. He pretends to look offended. Menace is such a harsh word. You roll your eyes. Accurate, though. He laughs, slinging his arm around your waist to spin you around to face him. I prefer the term charismatic disaster. Your smile widens despite your best efforts to appear stern. He looks ridiculous, covered in seagull mess, hat lopsided, grin annoyingly charming, and still clutching his precious bag of chips. Charismatic disaster, you repeat, raising an eyebrow. You just made that up. He grins wider. Obviously, but it still sounds way better than menace. You snort, giving his shoulder another shove. I'll admit that. But charismatic disaster still fits you perfectly. He laughs, pulling you closer with an arm around your waist. Guess that makes you the tolerates my chaos with grace and charm, he retorts, grinning like you're both in on some hilarious joke. You roll your eyes, trying to bite back an amused smile and failing miserably. This is probably the last thing you expected to end up doing today. Laughing, covered with seagull mess, bickering over ridiculous nicknames with a ridiculously charming idiot. And the worst part, you're loving every stupidly ridiculous, chaos-filled minute of it. Davy grins, eyes glinting like he already knows what you're thinking. Admit it. You love my chaos. You shrug, trying to sound blasé even as your heart somersaults in your chest like a goddamn acrobat. Love is a strong word. He leans in, voice dropping to a whisper in your ear like a challenge. But you're already laughing, darling, so you must not hate it. You shove him again, cheeks suddenly warm. The bloody idiot knows full well the effect he has on you. Shut up, you retort weakly, trying to sound more annoyed than you feel. The amused glimmer in his eyes tells you he completely sees through you. His grin turns even more infuriating. Make me. Your breath catches a little traitorously in your throat at the low, challenging tone of his voice. Even after months together, he still manages to make you feel stupidly flustered and completely out of control. You shove him again instead, cheeks burning. You're insufferable, you know that? He laughs. The sound is like sunshine and sparks and everything that should make you angry but somehow makes your knees feel weak instead. You've never met anyone who makes you feel so many conflicting emotions at once. But you love me for it, he teases, grinning like he knows he's already won. His arm is still wrapped loosely around your waist, the other clutching the bag of chips in a death grip. You roll your eyes again, trying to ignore the fact that his grip is the only thing keeping you standing. Damn it, when did you start falling so hard for this idiotic, reckless, impossibly charming boy? I hate you, you mutter under your breath, but it's a blatant lie and you both know it.